Make sure you're subscribed for hours of gameplay footage, reviews by request, and even more unique countdowns just like this one. What's up everyone of the internet, and welcome to USAirsoft. I'm Scott Slade-Holmbeck, your host, and you've entered our latest countdown, the top 5 coolest airsoft guns, the Fan Edition, where we asked all our fans and supporters to send us their builds from all around the world to compete for the top spot. We took in submissions from our own Facebook and the Gas Gun Association, which in total brought us more than 90 entries. Pistols, Polar Stars, gas rifles, and good old M4s were submitted from the 90, but only 5 were chosen. And even though I'm dealing with the worst case of food poisoning right now that has my organs falling apart from the inside, we're going to check out what made it to the number 5 spot. First up, we have Michael with this KWA Crisp Vector, which is set up just the way I would. Outside, we can see a replica holographic sight with Magpul XTM rail covers, an unmarked suppressor, and a strobe light with presser switch. Michael has also added a Type 4 barrel, an Angel Custom reinforced blowback housing, and an Angel Custom reinforced spring guide, which brought the total of this build to $750. Michael told me that the Crisp Vector is kinda rare nowadays, which if my memory serves me right, the Vector was once everywhere when it came to the airsoft playing field. It even won the Airsoft Player's Choice Award for the most anticipated release many years ago. This was such a popular gun that if you ever need to look up a review over it on YouTube, you'll find dozens and dozens of videos over it. But this is still a nice setup to open the countdown, but this is just number 5, so let's see what lies next door at number 4. Holding down the number 4 spot is Bobby with this tacked out Elite Force Mini Uzi, which is used heavily in CQB. Bobby added rails to the right side and to the foregrip so it can mount a red dot and a Nightcore 1K lumens light. He also modified the nozzle to reduce the FPS to 335 feet per second from its original 390, which brought the build cost to around $550. Bobby claims it's the only one shooting at less than 350 feet per second for CQB gameplay, and he uses it normally at High Ground Airsoft in Spring, Texas. He also grabs the red dot sight so he can use it to pull back the bolt, which is quite unique, and being as it's fast and accurate, he enjoys it every time he takes it out. But as it's the only tacked out Uzi we've ever seen, we just had to make it fit our show. But this wouldn't be the last SMG to make the cut. Moving into number 3, however, we have something a bit more long range. This time it's Evan with his HPA pre-banned Tanaka M700, which would be easier to see if I didn't make this the first pick of it. Oh, alright, that's much better. This Tanaka has been set just right for Evan's playstyle with the foam-filled suppressor to make his shots much quieter. A 6x24 scope was also added, and a Prometheus inner barrel with the VSR hop-up conversion. A custom paint job and a King Arms Mars rail kit was also added that jumped the price for this Tanaka to a solid $1,000. When I asked Evan about why he should be on the top spot, he responded with, "Because my guns are unique, and you can't find any others like it." Not only that, but it's a Tanaka, and it's discontinued. That may be true, Evan, but you should know, you don't have the only discontinued gun on this countdown, because at number 2, we have something that was picked deep within Japan. From a store cluttered with boxes and forgotten pieces of airsoft history, there, another Tanaka was discovered and granted unto another collector named Mason. This rare collector's piece would be the infamous Tanaka WZ-63. Based on the Polish PM63, this airsoft replica came at the steep price of $800. But this is not the kind of gun you want to go taking out to your average weekend skirmish, as its rarity, age, and the confusing 3-valve system inside the metal construction make this a very gas inefficient problem child. However, it can take green gas or CO2. Needless to say, this is like spotting Bigfoot in your backyard. Not many of these can be found, and most require some steady hands to be worked on. However, secret Japanese clubs for owners can help those who just may own one of these mythical SMGs. This is definitely a piece of airsoft history you won't see in many videos, and that some are seen for the first time here. But it does pay me to say that we must move on. But before we reveal what made it to the top spot, let's just see what almost made the countdown. These are pieces that just may have made it to the 10 through 6 spot, missed the deadline for submissions, or were too busy to reply to getting entry into the show. But all these owners may resubmit one day to a later countdown, so they can have their stories told for you all to enjoy. But with all that said, let's just see what kind of a monster lies behind the curtains of number 1. This is something we didn't expect to show itself in the submission pool. Remember, 90 guns were submitted, but this one stood out like the sun in the sky. Shotgun and Bullpup lovers, eat your hearts out, because this is Neil's custom APS Cam 870. Neil started by taking an APS Cam 870 Cruiser and removing the original pistol grip and pump. Then, after modifying a real steel Bullpup Unlimited 870 conversion kit, which included dremeling, sanding, and adding a foam cutout to keep the trigger bar on the trigger, this larger-than-life APS was ready to confuse all that laid eyes onto it. I absolutely love when players innovate and get crafty with their designs, and this is definitely one of those pieces that did it for me. He put work into this shotgun build, which deserves him the top spot on this countdown, but Neil went on to say that nothing beats the feeling of clearing a room or building with this gun. When you turn the corner or into a doorway and point this right into an enemy, the look on their faces is the look of confusion and fear all in one emotion. Then comes the boom, and the 12 BBs that fly out and smack him right in the chest. It's like one of those MasterCard commercials. CQB Arena admission, $15. 0.2 gram Elite Force BBs, $20. APS Cam 870 and Bullpup kit, $650. The look on the other person's face when you point it right at them, priceless. It's a one-of-a-kind airsoft gun, being the only shell-ejecting Bullpup shotgun I know of. And all the laboring and saving up was spent well into making this art piece come to reality, which makes a good way to end this countdown, which also would be the 200th upload here on the US Airsoft channel. Make sure to show your love for all these builds in the comments below, and to let me know if you have an idea for a countdown that we should do, or if you disagree with the results here today. But be sure to like us on Facebook if you'd like to join in on the next fan submission special, or subscribe like you should have for more original content like this. I'd like to thank you all for watching and bearing with me as I dealt with a streak of illness over the week, but until the next video drops for you all to enjoy, I'll be sure to see you all next time. Boom, that's 200 videos.